In honor of Season 2 of the One Piece live-action anime, we decided to play Plunder Patrol. Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, this is literally just an excuse to play one of my favorite decks of all time, Plunder Patrol! That's right, we're playing the Pirates. Yeah, here's the thing. I haven't played this deck in a while. I really enjoy this deck, and notably, it did receive a buff on one of the most recent ban lists, that being Pot of Desire going back to 3. This helps the deck substantially. Just getting access to additional cards is very advantageous, and you don't necessarily need any specific card. So, yeah, Pot of Desire is very nice in this deck. That's it. It's literally just an excuse for me to play Plunder. So, let's quickly explain what this deck aims to do. First and foremost, you utilize your captains, Whitebeard, Redbeard, and Blackbeard to tag out into your ships, being Lys, Bran, Jord, and Moerk. All of the extra deck monsters can be summoned via the captain's effects at quick effect speed if the opponent controls a monster of the same attribute or it's in their grave. So if they have an Ash Blossom in their grave, you can tag out into Bran, which is the fire. If they have a Maxi or a Izuna or something else of that nature, you can go to Jord, etc. That's generally what the deck is aimed to do. And each one of these effects, or each one of these monsters has various different effects. Lys, Bran, and Moerk are a monster negate, a spell trap banish, and a monster or an effect monster banish. All of them also require you to discard a Plunder Patrol card, and then if they are equipped with a monster, which will be equipped via the effects of the captains, will then search a card in addition to that. Jord and Blackbeard specifically are extenders. Blackbeard allows you to tag out and then draw a card, meaning if you don't have a plunder, you could draw into a plunder. That's one of the uses of it. But again, it's similar to the other captains. Jord has the ability to add back from grave, putting itself into the spell trap zone, and then it can summon a token on both sides of the field of a specific attribute. So, for example, you could give your opponent a light monster. It's very useful. On top of that, if the opponent summons a monster while it's on the field, you can add a Plunder Patrol card, and if it's equipped, you can special summon another one as well. It's very, very strong. That being said, this one is mostly used going first as opposed to something that you would tag out into. However, with the presence of the canines, it's actually pretty useful. As for the other cards, we have Bluebeard, which is an extender. It special summons itself. Same thing with Goldhair. Goldhair can summon itself from grave. Black Eyes can add back from grave in order to special summon itself. And then all of them also, if they are sent from field, from face-up field, not the spell and trap card zone, from face-up monster zone, sorry, or the hand, they then trigger effects. Whitebeard summons from deck, Redbeard equips itself, Bluebeard discards a card and draws a card, Golden Hair notably doesn't do this, and then Black Eyes can special summon an equipped card, or a card in the spell and trap card zone as a monster in defense. Yeah. As for the rest of the cards, they're pretty... Oh, sorry. We're also playing Shipyard. You discard a card, add a card, and it boosts your monsters. On top of that, it can reset itself. Very useful. And then the Booty allows you to target an opponent's card, change its attribute, or an opponent's monster, change its attribute, and then special summon one of your guys from grave, allowing you access to maybe an attribute you don't have. Notably, we don't have a wind ship or wind monster to tag out into. That's the one thing we're missing, which does kind of hurt in a format full of Radiant Typhoon, but at the very least, it's still something that you can kind of play around, because you can give your opponents attributes, so it's fine. The rest of the cards are pretty simple. Just, you know, standard hand trap stuff, right? Droll, Maxi, Ash, Fua, Imperm. Those are the hand traps, right? We're also playing a few other cards. Triple Tack is very solid in this deck. I don't want to say it's great, but it is very useful. It allows you to, like, actually play, and oftentimes you're going to get interrupted and then have to do something else in that nature, or after the fact. Notably, it allows you to punish Ash. Ash is like a death sentence for this deck, because every single one of your cards has the effect to add a card as well, which means that Ash can literally stop all of your interaction. So it kind of sucks, but that's why we're playing a bunch of ways to punish that, or to stop it. So there you go. There's the triple tax and the cross out and cold vibe. We're also, of course, playing Pot of Desires, as previously mentioned, and then 2 Radiant. Radiant happens to be a dark kaiju. That's it. I want to give them a dark. Here's a dark. Dark specifically just happens to be the best because Moerk happens to also be disruption. So if you give yourself, or if you give the opponent a a Radiant you can tag out into Moerk, and then Moerk can deal with the Radiant and search you a card. So that's kind of the idea behind that. It's useful, but it's not the most useful. And that's it for the deck. Let's hop into the replays. Oh, sorry. I should mention, we are also playing Almirage, as well as the one Zeus and Typhon. And that's it for the deck. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alrighty, so here we are going second, and wow, what a hand. Oh, so close to a full house here. My opponent's going to reveal that they're on K9. Okay, let's see what we can accomplish here. I do actually get to resolve the Fuba loss here, which is the only reason we're even remotely in this game, obviously, right? I draw into Pot of Desires, which is fantastic for us. They're going to grab the Azana here. They're going to go into the Ripper. I'm like, that's a-okay. Draw into Crossout, sure. Obviously, we're going to Imperm here. The Crossout honestly kind of sucks because all of the Ashes are in our hand, so it probably won't do all the time. They're going to go for the Azana. I am going to Ash this. I'm just kind of hoping they don't really have anything. Because if they had anything else, to be fair, they already used their normal on the Noir. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll just Ash here. Cool. Well, Pot of Desires better draw us something good. We do banish quite a few cards. Outcomes Droll. Luckily for me, we only banished one of our Drolls, so we can banish the other one. Get it out of there. Now we gotta go to Triple Tack, and I just take here. Normal Summon a Plunder, and Outcomes Blackbeard. Now, notably, we do have access to Yord, because they have the Azana, they have the Canines, they're all Earths, which is fantastic. So we're making go over the Yord here, activate its effect, grabbing back the Blackbeard, and then going for a light token. We did end up drawing another special summon here off of the Golden Hair. Golden Hair can discard a card, a Plunder Patrol card, in order to special summon a guy, which gives us the additional Blackbeard. Notably, basically what ended up happening is I gave my opponent a light token. That's all that happened. That whole turn equated to me stealing their monster and then giving them a light token, which is very funny. But yeah, all of that stuff with Yord, basically just, that's all it is. Notably, though, it is very useful. But here we're actually going to tag out into, instead of Liss, we're going to actually go into Yord here, which draws us into another Desires. But we're going to add the White Beard. Now, here's the thing. I make a mistake here. I should summon another White Beard, and that might sound strange, but the reason for that is because Whitebeard's effect, you want to both use the hand effect once it's discarded for one of your effects, and you want to use the on-field effect to tag out into one of your ships. The problem with this is that I didn't do this, and now, because of the way that Whitebeard works, I'm not going to be able to effectively get the Whitebeard activation. So that's a bit of a goof on my part. But we do go for the red beard here and go into the Moerk instead. Out comes Nash Knight. They're going to activate the effect of the Nash Knight. We can just banish here, so it's not that big a deal. So we're going to banish. And I actually elect to just not activate the effect of the White Beard, which might sound strange, but if the last card in hand is a Canine, or more specifically, if it is a Izuna, it could be an issue. And I don't actually need to activate the effect here. It's not going to provide any value by summoning just a useless guy. So I just elect not to and just, yeah. Go for it. Out comes Valon. They're going to go to combat here. They're going to walk into my Moerk and then go into the double Azaeus and then activate its effect, to which I will activate the Imperm. And I'm pretty certain this is the Vanquish Soul trap at this point because it's not activatable. So I was like, okay, it's probably the Vanquish Soul one. That's probably why they didn't activate it. If it was Imperm, they would have. But we're going to pitch the Shipyards to grab the Shipyard. And then go for the Shipyard, bouncing back the Redbeard. Out goes the Yord, add back the card, put it into the back row, activate the field spell, pitch a card, add another guy. We pitch the Desires, which is kind of funny. Anyway, I normal summon this guy for no real apparent reason. It's fine. Activate the Redbeard, go for the Bran. Bran is going to banish, and look at that, it's the Snow Devil. We're going to go for another one of our guy, summon out the Bluebeard, and then just walk into lethal. So yeah. Notably, one thing to keep in mind is Bran has two effects, right? All of them technically have two effects, right? Bran's effect is that it boosts the field by 500, except itself. So all of your other plunders get 500, whereas the Shipyard specifically counts the number of face-up plunder cards you control, and for each one that you control, you generate, or you boost your monsters by an additional 500, right? So all of your monsters gain that additional 500 for each one of the spell traps. So here, they were boosted by an additional 1,000. So it was a total of 1,500 for pretty much everything there. That's why all of my monsters ended up being so big. On top of that, Moerk can detach a material, which it almost never has material, but it can detach a material in order to protect the field, and or maybe just itself. It literally never comes up. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh, Endless can special summon a guy from either hand or face-up spell traps. Alrighty, here we are once again. Here we are going first. And let's see what we can accomplish here. We're going to start off here with the Pot of Desires. Again, we're not too concerned about Droll, so yeah. We're going to go for the Golden Hair into Almirage. This allows us to put the Golden Hair into the grave, which promptly gets met by Bell. Okay, well, we're going to look at the hand and... I love the Dark Magician deck. Anyway, we're going to pitch the Magician Souls. This one just, I feel like, is the best. You could argue Dark Magician Girl is potentially better, but seeing as how they have both Roar and Gaze, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm supposed to technically go for there. I feel like its Soul gets them rotation, or, you know, gets them a whole bunch of cards. They can also cycle a bunch of cards with it, so I feel like it's that one. Maybe it's supposed to be Dark Magician. I send away Souls. It's fine. Anyway, luckily we do have the Golden Hair to pitch the Bluebeard, so we can still do that from hand, pitching the Kaiju to draw a Troll, which is kind of funny now. We're going to go for the Blackbeard. Blackbeard effect is going to grab at Yord since they use the Ghost Bell, and we're just going to pass on that. We did draw into the Imperm off of the Blackbeard, which is pretty nice. But notably, Yord here is going to trigger off of the Dark Magician Dark Magician, whatever this one is, which means that we can special summon and search a card. Just kidding, Ash Blossom eats our whole life savings. Yeah, we literally can't do anything against Ash Blossom. It will always do that, right? Ash Blossom is such a powerful card against our deck because it just immediately cancels every single one of our effects. Just no. We don't get to do anything. And so many of our effects also require us to discard a card for cost, which means that we just kind of don't get any advantage, and it really sucks. So there's that. Anyway, out comes Gaze. Yeah. Cool. Big, unaffected guy. Imagine if I could imperm this. Nope. They get it for free. I hate that. Either way, it's... Okay, that's a good draw. However, now we're very low on cards. After this, we have 2 cards. Notably, we drew 2 of the best cards. 2 cards. 8 cards. Notably, we drew 2 of the best cards we could have there. So that's pretty good. We're going to go for the Golden Hair. We're also going to go for the Black Eyes off of the Whitebeard. And out comes Blackbeard. Blackbeard effect is going to attach, or summon a Yord. Yord effect is going to add back the Whitebeard. And then Yord effect is going to grab our opponent a Dark Token. Notably, however, Gaze banishes the Timaeus, which I didn't think about. The reason I went for the Dark was because we had access to Light, Earth, and Fire, and we never really need access to Water, so... Oops, I forgot it got banished. Anyway, out comes Bran. We're immediately going for this because out comes this guy. Yeah, we're gonna banish it. I don't want them to search. Discard a card. I don't elect to actually search off of the effect of Bran because I have 5 cards left in my deck. While I could have searched, it probably was bad. We're gonna pitch the other Pot of Desires and hit another Ghost Bell. Wow, okay, that's impressive. Cool. Normal summon the Whitebeard, go for the Yord, activate the effect of the Whitebeard, summon out our Redbeard, add back the Black Eyes, put it into the back row, add the the Bluebeard, and now we can put back the Link 2 in order to go for the Shipyard, which boosts our entire field, and go for the Blackbeard as well, and summon out the field, and then we can put the Yord into the back row, and at this point the game is over. We did it. We found. So we're gonna walk over the field, and that is well over lethal. Whew. We got there. 3 cards left in deck. You'll love to see it. Alrighty, here we are once again going first, and our hand is pretty solid, right? Cool. We're gonna start off here. Normal summon the Golden Hair, go into the Almirage, activate the effect of Golden Hair, pitching our Whitebeard. Whitebeard effect is going to trigger, going for the Red Beard. Out comes Yord effect. Grab up the Whitebeard once again so that we have it for later, and then we can grab ourselves a Light Token, which then gives us, of course, Blackbeard. After the Blackbeard, we're going to set 2, and we are going to then, in the end phase, go for the list here. The reason for this is because it plays around Nibiru a little bit better. Not a lot better, but a little bit. Honestly, I don't know why I did this. I'm not going to lie. Either way, they're going to go for the draw play here, and I'm going to swiftly special summon our guy because they elected to do this in the main phase. Imagine if they had done this in draw phase or something of that nature, and I just couldn't respond. Either way, not that big of a deal. Out comes Crocia, which is fine because we can immediately tag our list into a second list. Fantastic. So out comes Crocia. Crocia effect is going to activate, which we will promptly negate. Now, to be fair, I probably should have impermed this. Not gonna lie, that probably would have been better so that I kept the list, right? Because we saw that they're playing Mitsu, so oops. Anyway, out comes the Redbeard. They're gonna activate the effect of their pre-prep. Sure. And luckily we do have the Duel, which is pretty good. So we're gonna Duel. Hooray. Anyway, out comes Habiyukiri for the Ame no Murakumo. Then they activate Mirror in the Imperm column. I don't know what the plan was there. Not gonna lie. Anyway, doesn't really matter. We're gonna go for the Mowork here, and then we are going to change this guy's attribute to go for the Bran, and then activate the Mowork effect, banishing it. We don't get a search because we're under roll, but at this point the game is over. We have lethal, and they have nothing on field. So yeah, we just switch Mowork to attack position and attack for slightly over lethal, but it is lethal. So good game. Man, Droll came in clutch there. Though, to be fair, I actually don't know. Yeah, we probably still could have beaten them, even with the... or without the Droll. But it's nice nonetheless. All right, and we're back with the deck. Honestly, this deck is still very fun to play, but it's also still not very good. I wish it was better. There are other things that you could potentially do with this deck. You know, you could play it with Lab, or... See, the problem with this deck is that it's very difficult to fit into other decks because, simply put, so many of the actual good effects lock you into Plunders. Whitebeard effect to summon from deck locks you into Plunders. Golden Hair to reborn from extra, or from grave, locks you into Plunders. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this guy's effect also locks you into Plunders when you activate it from hand. So all of the, like, advantageous effects that put multiple bodies onto field or gets multiple bodies into rotation locks you into Plunders. So it's not exactly easy to go into something else. You could theoretically play it with Lab. I haven't tried that, and I've not really ever seen it played with Lab. I've seen it played with, like, Runic before, but that also doesn't really provide any value. Basically, what you would be doing is just hindering another deck as opposed to actually providing value from both of the decks. So for the most part, I just find it better to play Pure. It also gives you access to a whole bunch of hand traps and the ability to play things like Pot of Desires or Triple Tack and stuff like that, which are arguably better. But all in all, I like this deck. I find it very fun. I love the Plunder archetype and the idea of the way that it works. It's such a unique strategy, and it works really, really well, and I love it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like is very much so appreciated, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.